What is a variable? Let's ask Wikipedia. In mathematics, a variable, from Latin variabilis, changeable, is a symbol and placeholder for any mathematical object. In particular, a variable may represent a number, a vector, a matrix, a function, the argument of a function, a set, or an element of a set. Pooh, that's confusing. First, let us try to put it in an easy way. The earliest form of variable you probably encounter is in this way. 2 plus the square equals 10. Of course, you know here the square stands for a placeholder. You have to insert the number that adds up to 10 in the placeholder in form of the square. Or in a number pyramid, neighbor numbers next to each other are added, which build the number above. For example, 3 and 4 equals 7 above. For the one at the top, you have to add the right number into the rectangle. The rectangle is a placeholder. So 7 plus 7 equals 14. So you have to insert 14 for the placeholder to solve this pyramid. In most cases, we use variables for something we don't know yet until we find the number we are looking for. We don't insert anything in it. When we have found it, then it is inserted. What? Okay, let's go slowly. One day, a student wanted me to explain to her the variable. She looked at the X on her paper and very angrily she shouted at me.
I don't understand. What is a variable?
Then I told her, this X here on the paper, it is just a sign for the variable. The variable, though, exists only in the world of imagination. Let us leave our normal world and fly to the world of imagination to find the variable. The variable exists in the world of imagination, and you can think of it as an empty container or a box.
Numbers also exist here, and you can insert a number into the variable.
Okay, now we got to know the variable. Let us fly back to our normal world. Here again, you can see our X as a sign on the tablet in the normal world. For a better understanding, we now split the screen. You can see the world of imagination on top, and at the bottom, you can see the normal world. Most of the time, the variable in the normal world will be denoted by the name X. But you may also name it Y or Z or use any other letter. You can also use a square. You can even use the name dog as a name for the variable. However, no one calls the variable dog. Please don't shock anyone by calling the variable dog. In almost all cases, letters are used for the variable. In principle, you can substitute the variable with any number. However, you have to specify the set of numbers you are using. The set out of which you can insert numbers is called domain. As an example, we could specify that you are only allowed to insert numbers from the set 1, 2, 3 or the set 4, 5, 6. Let's choose 5, 6, 7 as our domain. That means we substitute the variable with 5 and observe what happens to our X in the normal world. In most cases, the set of natural numbers is the domain. And in most cases, the domain is not given explicitly when it comes to inserting into variables. Let us grab number 5 from our domain and insert it. As you can see, something exciting is happening. As soon as the number 5 is inserted, our X in the normal world changes. Before, X referred to the empty variable. Now 5 is substituted for the variable. Therefore, we have to change our X in the normal world. X changes to X equals 5. Let us repeat it. Substitute 5 for the variable above and X changes to X equals 5 below. Inversely, if you see X equals 5 in our normal world, we know that 5 is substituted for our variable. The expression X equals 5 tells you that from now on, the sign 5 and the sign X, they mean the same thing. This means that from now on, you can exchange x for 5 and 5 for x. In the normal world, x and 5 do now have the same meaning. Maybe you are still a bit confused. X equals 5 taken by itself seems strange. The equality sign means usually the left side is equal to the right side. But in this case, it has a kind of different function. The equality sign has the function of a dictator. The equality sign forces the x and the 5 to be the same, even though, of course, the two things taken by itself, strictly x and 5, are not the same thing. So now by dividing the two words, it should be clear. That was the variable explained simply.